Hey gang, Chonky here. Before we get into my intro to Dungeons of Sundaria video, I wanted to say I originally planned to have this be one big video. Unfortunately, I got a little distracted with my real life job and didn't have enough time to edit this as much as I wanted to. And it's already been about 2 weeks since I released a video, so I wanted to tie this off as part 1, and I will release a part 2 later, as well as content covering Festering Bog, because that has already come out it's been out for a few days now, and I still haven't even played it yet. So I'm going to release this, and then we'll get a part 2 hopefully soon, but I just wanted to slip that in there before we get into the video. Anyway, enjoy. Hey gang, Chonky here. Today's intro video will hopefully be a fantastic and well-digestible watch for any newcomers to Dungeons of Sundaria. This is a direct follow-up to my beginner's tips video that I released several months ago. What is Dungeons of Sundaria? Well, DOS is an over-the-shoulder hack-and-slash dungeon crawler. Currently, there are only 6 dungeons for you to play, but 2 more have been announced, with one of them hopefully coming very soon. It may even be released by the time I put this video up. In this game, you will explore deep, well-crafted dungeons, each filled with unique bosses that have their own specific traits and gimmicks, and there's also plenty of tucked-away secrets for you to find and explore. Loot everything from boxes and barrels to all of the mobs you kill for various pieces of equipment, until you can craft yourself powerful elite sets. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, then let's get started with creating your character. Currently, you will have 5 character slots, which is enough for you to have one of each class on your profile. They are the following. You have Champion, Cleric, Ranger, Rogue, and Wizard. Now, I've made video breakdowns of each class, which I will put in the description below, but for this video, I will also give you a small rundown for each of them. Starting out, we have the Champion. This is the de facto bruiser in Dungeons of Sundaria. They have a lot of wide swings and taunts, and this will make the class the center of the action. One of the harder classes to play, though, without having elite sets. If you are interested in jumping into the middle of combat, pulling all the enemies towards you as well as taunting them for a bit, hacking them apart with giant two-handed weapons, or slashing them to pieces with one-handed weapons, if all of this sounds interesting to you, check out my class breakdown, because there's lots of advanced combat techniques that I break down in my video. Secondly, we have the Cleric. Now this class is also super beefy with lots of heals. They do so much AoE holy damage. Sadly though, the damage is a little bit on the lower end compared to the more aggressive classes. It's my personal favorite though with how the combat feels. Next you have the Ranger. This class is incredibly strong. You have your choice between 3 different weapon class bonuses to choose from. You can go for a full nature build, you can go for a full physical damage build, you can even do a hybrid, and they are all viable. This class is amazing. You also have the Rogue. This is the only source of stealth in the game. They are allowed to bypass so much, it can speedrun so much of the game. You can farm exactly what you need to by just stealthing and running there. But besides from stealth, they are incredibly strong when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. They have lots of damage negation, they can break crowd control effects, they can just tear everybody apart with short-range AoE bursts. Rogues are fantastic. And then lastly, we have the Wizard. This class may be the squishiest of all the 5 classes, but it is one of the more aggressive and damage-dealing classes. They focus mainly on fire and void magic. And this class just melts everything. Like I said, they may be squishy now, but I have heard that more damage negation is coming in the future for wizards. Such a cool class. And as you go through the character creation, you'll see the different races and classes before you, as well as the ability to change your height, face, hairstyle, traits like tattoos on your face, and then you can do hair color, eye color, or skin color. Keep in mind, all of these can be changed in the town once you've started, except for your class. Once you pick a class, you're stuck with it. However, you can change everything else. So, everything is not set in stone aside from class. And as you get through the character creation, you will be brought into the main hub of the game, Galdrin's Crossing, which is like your hometown. And before we break down all of the buildings here, let's first talk about all of the tabs that you're going to see presented to you when you first create a new character. Starting out, you have the character tab. Now this is a full breakdown of all your accumulated stats and class or set bonuses. This is where you'll just see the totality of your power and all of your stats put together. So this will be all of your different abilities and gear and heroism put together all in one spot. So this is where you're going to see everything. The inventory tab, standard inventory page where you'll see your gear and your weapons, as well as the 5 pages of loot that you can fill, which honestly doesn't feel like enough pages sometimes. Then you have your abilities tab. As you start a new character, you're going to notice that your bar down below is pretty much empty. Now, keep in mind that as you level up, you will get about 1 new ability a level up until about roughly level 8, and then you will not get any abilities until level 15, where each class will get their final ability, which is normally a buff. Next, we have the Heroism tab. If you are a new character, you'll see that this page is locked. Now, once you get to level 15, this tab unlocks, and you will level up like crazy. So an example would be, it takes you 2 hours to grind from level 14 to 15, and you're doing multiple dungeons or something. And then once you hit 15, you'll kill a single mob and you'll level up once. So then level up again and again and again and again. Think of it kind of like the Paragon system in Diablo 3. Now, the reason for leveling up so quickly is you will use these heroism points to invest in various stats or ability buffs that go directly into your character, and these can be changed at any time. You can always reset your heroism points and put them back into something else. Now, right now, it may seem like you cannot change a whole lot in heroism, but I do know that there are some huge changes coming to heroism in the future. So I can't wait to break that down when that actually happens. But for right now, what you see with heroism is about 50 levels will max out a stat, and that'll normally give anywhere from like 15 to 35% on whatever the ability or stat buff is. Heroism is very important. And the journal tab is where you can find all of your current and completed quests, as well as see how many times you've beaten each boss in all of the dungeons. You can also find the compendium. Now, the compendium is a beginner's best friend. This completely breaks down all of the stats that each class would require to use to be effective, and it also tells you what kind of gear you want to look for. So it'll say, like, clerics and wizards need to focus spell power, where a ranger needs to focus ranged power. It's very important that you do that for those classes. It will also tell you what kind of armor you want to look for. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't mean that a wizard cannot wear plate armor, but what that does mean is that if you get a piece of plate armor and it's high level, mid to late game armor, you're going to get buffs to the champion class. You will not get buffs to the wizard class unless you're wearing the wizard type armor, which I believe off the top of my head is cloth type. So it's very important to go through the compendium at least once or twice just to make sure you fully understand what's going on. It also breaks down other confusing stats like penetration and stuff like that. So anybody, no matter what, I would recommend everybody goes through the compendium at least once or twice, just so that you can fully sort of immerse yourself into the game and just hopefully clear up any questions that you had. And it also goes over damage types, which I will be breaking down damage in this video. Damage is a very confusing thing for a lot of people, and I happen to have the damage formula, which we're going to break down in a later portion of the video. Now that you've created your character and you're ready to dive into the dungeons here in Dungeons of Sundaria, you'll first have to navigate your way through the town, Galdrin's Crossing. Starting out in Galdrin's Crossing, we have the guardhouse. This is where Captain Laurent resides. This is mainly a place for quests. You will only turn in and receive new quests here. Nothing else is really done. Next, you have the Silver Dove Inn. There's 2 NPCs here. You have Samrock and Lena. They each sell their own consumable items. However, in my consumable video, I go into a breakdown, and most of these are not worth it. Her armor increasing and resistance increasing consumables are okay, but due to how many consumables you can have active at one time, they are outclassed by the others. This is also a place where you will accept and turn in several quests. I have videos for the quests as well. Next, we have the hovel. This is the residence of Sinjin. Sinjin is the guy that you talk to if you would like to change your class. You can modify everything as far as race, gender, height, skin color, cosmetics between face and hair, and your body. The only thing you cannot do is change your class. Next is the Ivory Tower. This is where Master Alchemist Morphic resides. He sells so many good consumables, namely the large rejuvenation potion and your class power potions. I go into this more in depth in my consumables video, but once you get late game, it is very important to have these class power potions and fall back on the rejuve potion for its incredible heals. Then we have the bank. This is where you will store all of your goodies. It is quite expensive to max it out. However, once you make the investment, it is incredibly worth it to have all 5 pages of your bank open. Very expensive, though. We also have the blacksmith. Here's where you're going to find Cletus Thornhue. He is the dye merchant for your armor. You will find Gwayer Dora. She upgrades the stars on your equipment. So talk to her when you start getting eternal gear that you would like to upgrade. It's very expensive. Then you have Master Blacksmith Kadric. Now, all of the normal fragments and elite fragments that you find, you will turn into him, and he will turn this into either regular equipment sets or elite armor sets. And I have a whole video breakdown on his crafting, as well as an entire video that breaks down all the current elite sets, not including stuff that might drop with Ragewind or Festering Bog. Lastly, we have the Guild House. Now, this is where your class trainers will reside. You do have to speak with Elite Scout Kara for one of your quests. Other than that, this is where you go to upgrade your skills. As you level up and you unlock new abilities, you will need to talk to your class trainer to upgrade them to the higher levels. It is quite important to make sure you come back every couple of levels just to make sure you have all of your abilities upgraded. There is one ability upgrade that you cannot obtain from your class trainer, and that is the quest in the Icy Depths, where you have to receive the Sigil of Triumph. This is only a nightmare difficulty quest. You cannot complete it on any other difficulty, and you need to be at least level 15, I believe. Other than that, all of your class ability upgrades will go through your class trainer. So for now, that's going to be part 1 of the intro to Dungeons of Sundaria. I apologize for not having the entire video done when I wanted it to. Time just got away from me. But in part 2, we're going to cover finer things about crafting and combat, as well as the damage formula that I mentioned. I'm going to break that down for you guys, and I want to make that really make sense to you, as well as stats on gear and stuff like that. So look forward to that, and then I'm also going to start covering the Festering Bog content once I have some time to stream some of it. And I'm considering making content for another game that came out called Meet Your Maker. It's a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you next time.